This is Joe Hoskin for SVG Europe. I'm here at Lord's Cricket Ground. With me today is Richard Craig-McFeely. He's the Strategy and Business Development Director for Digital Media at Interxion. We're going to be talking about how highly connected data centres are being used for OTT. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Joe. Good to be here.
Great to see you. So why is this entire area relevant to those in the sports broadcast space?
Interxion is providing highly connected data centres. Highly connected data centres are really at the core of everything we do these days. We say that we're at the core of the digital economy. They're relevant to this business because we are the locations where all of the networks that the sports broadcasting community use connect together. So if you are contributing content from a live event, it will be coming into the data centre. You can put your production equipment in the data center, and then you can distribute in an OTT fashion out of the data center using the local ISPs and CDNs. Mm-hmm. So really we're the core infrastructure, if you like, that underpins everything that the SVG community would be interested in.
And specifically then, so what are the benefits that brings to OTT sport? What are the advantages that can now deliver?
So while I've been at Interxion for the last 3 years, I've learnt a lot about how the largest content platforms deliver their services in an OTT fashion. And the way that they do that is by using these highly connected data centers from ourselves and other providers. And what those highly connected data centers do, the business problem they solve, if you like, is user experience. From the highly connected data centers, you can connect to all the local, what we call eyeball networks in any particular country. So you can get as close to the customer as you can, connect to as many of the fans as you can, and deliver the best possible service to them. Because of course, if a fan is not getting the right user experience, however much they like their sport, they may well churn from that service. And the user experience, if you like, really underpins all the quality, the quality content you have and the quality production. You really need to deliver that in a way that's, it's the best user experience for the fan.
So can you give me any specific examples of where Interxion, in certain countries, what the kind of projects that you've been involved with?
A very good example would be the Digital Olympic service that Eurosport provides across Europe. As you know, they've got a large deal with the IOC. So the streaming of that content is actually via a company called BAMTech, who are based in our Amsterdam facilities. So feeds coming in, the content is produced, ready for OTT distribution, and then it's distributed out of our data center across Europe. So I'd say that's quite a good example, but there are many others. I would say, if you look at your mobile phone, most of your most used apps from social media companies, OTT video providers are delivered in this type of way as well. So we're learning from those very large platforms and bring it into this world.
And from your perspective, what are the biggest challenges for sports broadcasters who are looking at OTT?
Very good question. I think one of the questions would be around scale and the ability to ramp up very quickly, because of course sports events are only on at certain times, and then there's an awful lot of capacity, if you like, that you need to deliver. And again, being able to do that in a way that the fan doesn't notice is probably the biggest challenge. Again, having the flexibility and scalability of being in one of these buildings where you can connect to the cloud and use scale into the cloud if you need to, get access to as much connectivity of various types that you need to for the periods of time that you need. I see that those are probably the major challenges, and these very flexible buildings, if you like, enable you to adapt to the requirements of the situation.
Do you see, if you could look forward, say, a couple of years, do you see any emergent trends in terms of this area?
Good question. There's been a lot of talk about remote production or at-home production at SVG events over many years. I see that equipment, the centralised equipment in those types of projects, I see that equipment being put into a highly connected data centre because you're in the ideal place for the contribution to run your production with remote staff connecting to the site, and then distribution, and also, as I said, the ability to connect to the cloud as and when you need to. And then I think the next stage on from that would be virtualizing the equipment in the data center, so you then have a very flexible model. You don't have to invest in the bespoke hardware as such, and then you're almost buying sports production technology as a service as and when you need it, because as we all know, sports events are only happening at certain times of the year or on a certain sort of schedule, so it gives you probably a lower cost base, more flexibility. I see those as I see that as the future, if you like, for our business and where the data centres and the sports broadcasting come together.
And finally, for Interxion, I think this trend or this movement, if you like, must give you a lot of confidence as a company in terms of the way that you're going to be involved in sports broadcasting in the years to come.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. We've identified. I'm responsible for digital media. It's quite a wide area, as you can imagine. We've specifically identified sports broadcasting as one of the areas that we want to focus on, particularly because it's important to run secure and reliable buildings, and resilient buildings, which matches this business. And we feel that we're able to provide the type of security, if you like, for this type of content moving forward. So we have specifically targeted sports broadcasting. We already have some key customers, and we're keen to get more and to grow the business in this area.
Okay.
And also work with Sports Video Group that we've very close with.
Thank you very much for your time today, Richard.
Thanks a lot, Joe.